everyone, my name is Elian Cardoso. Welcome to task number one. Today we will focus on the development of my four English communication skills. I have always liked writing and reading more than speaking and listening. When I was little, I used to play a lot with my cousin, who unfortunately passed away due to personal problems. And thanks to her, I was very fond of learning English no matter how. I am a music lover since I was a child, and more of American music. I have always tried to imitate the best singers of English music. When I was a child, I always wanted to enter a language school, but unfortunately, I never had the necessary memories. But with God's favor, I will get ahead thanks to the opportunity that have been given me to me. Chart knowledge I have acquired prior to English 5. English 1. I have been able to learn a lot about my daily routine and the grammar of the present simple and present past tense. Over time, I have lost a little chance when I speak or when I go to record video in English. English is very essential in my person and I work like skills. Practicing reading, writing, speaking, and listening help a lot in my training process, and through that, I can get the right vocabulary for my individual process. In the English 2 course, I was able to understand my strengths, weaknesses in my academic formation. Reinforcing writing, listening, speaking, and reading in different scenarios can bring you closer to the reality of everyday life. The topics I was able to learn use this course have helped my knowledge today. In English 3, I was able to see and understand vocabulary related to job, hobbies, and personal life. I also saw conditionals through the elaboration of a comic book. I was also able to analyze in the details modal verbs and modal perfect. Uh, I also saw comparative adjective and superlative adjective. In the English 4 course, I was able to look at phrasal verbs, and I was able to say throughout and the core how to make good use of phrasal verbs. I was able to understand this and make phrasal through sentence that could be read correctly. How does English help my core success? The growth I will have thanks to knowledge of English will give me the freedom to connect with the world. I have interpersonal relationship that will help me to promote my personal and professional development in an adequate way. I consider that for this course I have more experience than a previous course in the term of the vocabulary, the grammar, pronunciation, and reading. English reinforces and help me in this course to stimulate and activities my brain in adequate, in effective way. For this course, English is the main source to solve most of my verbal and non-verbal expression problem. Skills speaking. I like to listen to music in English. I always speak only in English. I try to always read the guides. I teach phrases to my mom and every day. When I see English phrases on my cell phone, I pronounce them. I practice English with my cousin sometimes. I practice speaking phrases to my dog. Have regular conversation in English, preferably with native speakers. Learn texts by heart and practice them every day alone or in a group. Learn to read phonetic transcription. Skills listening. I like to watch movies in English to learn to read and listening. I like to read books in English to learn how to pronounce well. I help my mom to read and listening in English. I use apps that help me to improve my pronunciation and listening skills. When I send audio, I listen to know if you pronounce it very well or badly. It's essential to watch TV in English. I listen to a lot of music in English to learn to listen faster. Skills reading. I read English text over and over again. I help me. Having a good vocabulary helps reading comprehension. When I see sentences in English, I try to understand their meaning by reading. I use app to learn to read. I use my planner knowledge and activity logic to deduce the information I am reading. I write the words I know I know understand. When I read a book, I ask myself a question about the test. Skills writing. I try to write English word every day. Every day, I write down words that I don't know their meaning. Sometimes when I read a phrase or sentence, I try to write down the meaning. I write down phrases from songs I hear in English. I use the dictionary when it is necessary. Every day I try hard to write new words. Now, very well, let's answer the first question. How do you practice writing, reading, speaking, and listening? I usually practice each skill every day while I practice reading and writing more than speaking and listening. Unfortunately, I did not have very good learning strategy during my childhood and adolescence, which still making me block or not understand class or when I am an English meeting very well. I like to practice reading books or social network where I find a story or simple sentences that I can understand without any problem. I practice writing through social networks because in social networks I see phrase and writing them in my notes and so practice writing every day. In oral expression, if I have several problems, I control the language well, but not the way I would like. Sometimes I confuse the pronunciation of many words and I pronounce them incorrectly. Every day I try to improve as much as I can. Second question. What benefits have this activity brought to you in each skill? Writing in my cell phone or notebooks help me a lot because you can read and write at the same time. You do two functions in one, and so little by little you understand better books, increase your reading and grammar, and immerse you in different style of topics. Three questions. How much time do you spend each week practicing each skill? I usually practice almost every day, even if one of the four skills. I almost always practice more hours of reading than the other skills. Sometimes I play video games, where I spend most of the time practicing my pronunciation with my friend. I also dedicate time to writing using my cell phone in the notes. I have many writing that I have said and learning English. Fourth question. How do you prepare yourself to develop your writing, reading, speaking, and listening skills? Every day I prepare myself to try to be better in each of my communication skills. As a first thing, I usually always listen to music when I doing my homework and at home. I love to play a video game sometimes to practice my fluency and intonation. Sometimes I forget words that I already know the meaning of, and because I don't practice every day, I forget. Fifth question. What kind of activities do you do to learn grammar? I almost always use an app called Duolingo, where I learn a lot of grammar and they teach me many different topics and the correct vocabulary. Also, the video tutorial that I find on social network help me a lot to improve my communication skills and I prepare way. My personal commitment will be to improve my habit in the four skills every day, dedicate more time to each of the skills in order to increase my previous knowledge in the English language. I wish and hope to learn a lot every day through the opportunity that the university gives me. It's essential to dedicate a lot of time to